Hello, Deviated Spectrum. It is difficult, if not impossible, to be unaffected by the conversations around us. And in this season of political ads, it feels particularly exhausting and troubling. The dispiriting tone, tenor, and tenacity of our public conversation these days feel completely unavoidable. It's like smog, a thick layer of toxic fumes that is infecting and affecting the national mood. It's sad, unproductive, and very troubling. When I'm searching for optimism, I try to convince myself that we've been through worse times. Perhaps most of us can't even remember those times exactly. But we've had a civil war, we've had presidents and important civil leaders assassinated, we've actively participated in many wars and come dangerously close to many others. And we've encountered devastating natural disasters like the Dust Bowl. We've had financial meltdowns. We've had too many moral and corrupt political scandals to even think about. And dare I say that our elite institutions have always left a lot to be desired. In other words, I don't think they've ever served us as well as we'd like. So in honor of the name of these newsletters, In Pursuit of Elevation, I guess one way to encourage optimism is to look at things from a different perspective, or put things into a proper context. They say that history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme, or that it is instructive. Therefore, when looking back, I find some solitude in the fact that we did come through very difficult times in the past, and we have always found a way through them. Betting against humanity is a losing proposition. No one knows exactly how or exactly when times will get better, but better they will get. We simply have to inspire ourselves to be optimistic again. The other part of context is recognizing that we tend to overcorrect in life. We overcompensate. I think this is one of the reasons why cycles exist in the first place. When markets tighten, people tighten. This magnifies the problem. It further accelerates the decline. That is until the bottoms is reached. Then markets expand. Suddenly more and more people see the potential again and forget the risks. That's when we enter the territory often referred to as irrational exuberance. Invincibility almost. It's dangerous. And then of course the bubble bursts again, and then we go back through the cycle again and again. The point is that things are almost never as bad or as good as they seem. I think that is a reasonable conclusion if you study history. I titled this piece Deviated Spectrum, partly because it's a fun play on words, but more importantly because it recognizes that we often have a distorted view of our spectrum of choices in front of us. We exaggerate, we amplify. We might believe that objects in the future are closer or further than they appear, as our side view mirrors often suggest. Or we might simply let our fears extrapolate and amplify our concerns on one side of the spectrum while underappreciating the risks or opportunities on the other. And perhaps, most of all, we really struggle to hold opposing truths, be they fears or hopes, in our souls at the same time. Things can be our problem while they are not our fault. Risks can be real while presenting opportunities. People we disagree with can have merit in some of their arguments, if not all. For sure, there are some awful exceptions. Humanity has made unforgivable errors of omission by not acting soon enough. Our ignorance or willingness to believe in really bad outcomes stood in the way of adequate action. Genocides, slavery, the Holocaust, and other awful crimes against humanity are all examples of consequences of inaction. And here's the difficulty, therefore. How do we find the right posture? Many people, myself included, are not comfortable sitting back and watching the madness right in front of us. We feel we have to get in the game. We're drawn to step into the arena and do something. That's my general tendency, to act, to do. But lately, I've been asking myself if this is the best way to help. By voicing my own concerns and convictions, am I contributing to the pendulum swings and simply aggravating or even triggering people that might harbor different fears than my own? Directionally, I am trying to calm down. I'm looking for more optimism. I am comfortable that I might be naive, but I'd rather be a naive optimist than a negative pessimist. Optimism has the advantage of being contagious. If more and more people believe that the future will be bright and that we will overcome whatever we need to overcome, then the chances of that happening are meaningfully higher. We think of that as a collective placebo effect. And they're much higher than if we are forced to overcome a collective and persistent level of our own cynicism and disbelief on top of the severe challenges we're facing. I've included 2 pieces I hope will inspire you towards a sentiment of hope and optimism that I read in the last few weeks. First is this incredible lessons learned from Maria Popova that she titled 16 Life Learnings from 16 Years of the Marginalian. Her writing, the depth of her insights, and her sheer humanity inspired me. How about this passage? I quote, "Like all forms of destruction, cynicism is infinitely easier and lazier than construction. There is nothing more difficult yet more gratifying in our society than living with sincerity and acting from a place of large-hearted, constructive, rational faith in the human spirit, continually bending toward growth and betterment. This remains the most potent antidote to cynicism. Today, especially, it is an act of courage and resistance." End of quote. And I also post a page from Susan Cain's newsletter, which was beautiful, and it's the real quality of humankind. This is truly who we are. Politics and our conversation and national discourse should never let us forget the true and beautiful nature of human beings. And I quote from a page by Danusha Lamiris in Susan Cain's newsletter called Small Kindness. "I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers still say, 'Bless you,' when someone sneezes. A leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we are saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, somebody else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handling it. To smile at them and for them to smile back. For the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder. And for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, 'Here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat.'" It's beautiful. Have a great week.